Hello everybody and welcome to week 7 of the Living Life to the Full training series. This week we're going to talk about the things that we do or can do that help us be better in terms of our mental health and our well-being overall. So for those of you who've not joined me before, my name's Kerry Cooper and I'm an employability and wellbeing coach at Compass Support. And I work at the Sanctuary in Castle Vale, and we offer a range of employability services there. So if you are looking to get back into work, or if you have recently been made redundant, sadly, we do have services that you can offer. So if you'd like to take advantage of those, then please do contact us via the Facebook message app. Okay, so diving into today. So today we're going to be talking about the things that we do that help us. So I'm going to be attaching a couple of handouts to the Facebook group after so that you can follow along. You could save these to your phone, you might want to write them out, and they give you lots of suggestions as to how we can create helpful, positive, good habits in order to really benefit our mental health. Last week we talked about the things that we do that let us down, the things that the bad things, and we talked about in our challenge we decided that we would choose from the list the most destructive thing that we do and commit to change it and make it something positive and stop doing it. So let us know how you got on with the challenge last week. If you're watching on the replay, be sure to check out all of our videos. If you watch them in sequence, then you can join in with the challenges as well. Okay, so what we're going to do is go through this checklist essentially. So these are all behaviours, really positive things that we can do to help us. So let's have a think about the things that we're already doing for our mental health and to keep well overall. So this might include things like you follow a particularly healthy diet, perhaps you avoid certain foods, it might be that you're already doing some form of exercise, it might be that you're already getting involved in a hobby where you're mixing with other people. You could already be doing loads of great things, and when we're talking about the checklist, these are just ideas to help you. They're not necessarily things that you should be doing all of them. Don't feel overwhelmed. Have a look at the list, think about what you're already doing, and you might want to choose one or two to focus on and then gradually build them up. Find out what's right for you. Make sure that when you're choosing something, a positive change to make that's going to help your mental health, is something that you enjoy and that you're going to stick to, that you can put into your routine even, because consistency is the key here. We really want to build these behaviours in as positives in our everyday life so that we don't even notice that we're doing them anymore. As mentioned before, in our training series, you will find that the topics and the worksheets, they all come from an online training course called Living Life to the Full, and this is absolutely free for you to complete, and I'll link it in the Facebook group. What's really great about this course is that it helps you create strategies and understand better how to manage your stress, your worry, even anxiety, low mood, and even depression, and gives you lots of helpful tips. So definitely check that out. What we cover on our Facebook lives and videos are snapshots of the tools that are in that course. So there's even more if you want to do that online course. Okay, so let's have a look at the checklist of the things that we do to help. So firstly, the first thing is ask yourself, are you eating regularly and healthily? So meaning 3 meals a day, meaning that you've got all food groups covered, that you're not overly reliant on heavy fat or sugary foods, and that you've got some variety in your diet as well, and you're having your 5 a day fruit and veg. So have a think about that. That might be something that you would be able to put into place if you're not already doing, and you can start with small changes. So maybe add something green to your plate every day, something colourful. It might be a fruit, vegetable that you can snack on, rather than actually having maybe reaching for, if you're a chocolate, sweets, crisps person, you could snack on healthy food instead. Okay, so the next thing to do to help you is to get enough sleep. So what this means is, it's quite obvious really, is that to make sure that you're having, everybody's different, that you're having the sleep that you need to perform at your best, because we're all different, right? Some of us need longer than others, but what we want to avoid is having too little sleep, because that means that our body isn't recharging, and our memories, our brains, they're not resetting, and you might be waking up feeling tired or groggy or brain fog. And definitely something that you can do is to have a regular time to go to bed and a regular time to get up. That is what the experts say is the most beneficial way of managing your sleep time. So consistency and regular time of set your alarm for a regular time in the morning and go to bed at a regular time consistently in the evening. So the next things that we do that help is having our routine and around the house. So this is things like our personal care, and also to keep the house clean and tidy. A few weeks ago we talked about the importance of having a routine, and the fact that the less that we do, the less we want to do. And things, when we get into that vicious cycle, it means that we actually we stop doing our basic routines, and these are things that we need to do to function well. So make sure that in order to help yourself, you got into a routine around the house and stick to that. The next helpful thing to do that will help you is to do things that cheer you up and bring you joy. So think about it now, reflect on what you really enjoy. What's something that you could build into your life to bring you those moments to look forward to, create happy memories, to basically have fun and enjoy. So that's something else on the list. And so far it sounds pretty good, right? I'm well up for this list. If I could, I would do them all. Okay, the next thing is to share your problems with friends and family who you trust. So we know that talking, generally it helps, because, you know, that saying, a problem shared is a problem halved. Well, actually, yeah, talking about how you're feeling, talking about your emotions, talking about something that's on your mind to somebody you trust, who wouldn't judge you, who will be able to sit and listen, somebody who understands you. That's really helpful, because it means that you're not bottling things up. When we start to suppress emotions and feelings, that can cause problems further down the line, and we really want to avoid that, because then what we've been hiding or burying within us, eventually it will come out, and it might be hours, days, weeks, months, years, but eventually those feelings will surface and will manifest in some way, shape or form. So if you have somebody that you could talk to, a trusted person, friend or family member, or even talking to a GP, or talking to even a counsellor, that will really help you. The next thing on the list is finding out more about how you feel. So this is getting in tune with your feelings and emotions, because it's really important to recognize them so that we can acknowledge them. And we talked about this when we did the mindfulness training. So when we have a feeling, when we have an emotion, we acknowledge it. And then if it's worrying us, if it's causing us some problem and stress, we can let it go. And you can do that by visualizing letting it go. But in order to do that, the first step is really understanding and getting in tune with your feelings. So you can describe them. You can describe them to yourself. You can describe them to your friends and family. Start noticing your feelings more. Maybe even write in a journal every day how you're feeling, and use feelings words. So, you know, describe how the feelings physically. So it might be feeling warm, feeling hot, heart racing. It could be that, say, you're feeling tingly. You might be feeling other feelings like upliftment. You might feel like you've got a weight lifted off your shoulder. You might have a warm feeling in your heart when you're feeling happy, when you're feeling loved, when you're loving somebody. So, you know, really start to understand your feelings and be able to use that language to be able to explain what they are, and you will definitely see a benefit in terms of your well-being and mental health. So the next thing is the next helpful thing is letting your upsetting thoughts go. And this relates to what we just spoke about. So when you acknowledge an upsetting thought, you know it's there. You might not be able to, you might be a situation that you're not able to control. And we know that the only things that we can control are within ourselves, which is good, because it means we can manage our thoughts that affect our feelings, that affect our behaviour. So that's a really good thing. But sometimes other people are causing us upset, and it's not something we can control. So rather than allowing for that to drag us into low mood, causing us anxiety, worry, stress, etc., before we get onto that awful vicious cycle, what's really good to do is to acknowledge that upsetting feeling and just let it go, knowing that we can't control it. We can't control the situation, we can't control somebody else, but what we can control is how we're feeling and the thoughts that we're having. So let that go. And you might want to visualize that as letting it go on a balloon, for example. See that soar into the sky. Make the situation as graphic as possible in terms of your senses. You know, what are you feeling watching that balloon? What are you seeing? Really describe it. What are the sounds around you? Are there any smells? Can you taste anything? Watching that unpleasant, that upsetting thought disappear attached to that balloon. Or you might want to bury it, you might want to blow it up, you might want to shoot it, you know, whatever works for you. Be creative. But what's really important is that you make that visualization really, really graphic so that it's gone and you know that you don't need to worry about it again. So the next thing to do is that will help you is facing your fears. And this sounds really scary, and I'm not suggesting that you decide that you're going to confront a phobia overnight and you'll be able to do that, because that simply isn't possible. We're not going to be unrealistic here. But if you find something challenging, like maybe going for a walk on your own, or maybe, you know, going out on your own, walking into a social gathering on your own, or something else that perhaps you feel fearful, it's a fear, not a phobia, but it's something that makes you perhaps feel uncomfortable, why not consider what is stopping you from doing that thing, whatever your thing is that you're fearful of, and really challenge yourself. What's stopping me? And reflect on that, because actually there may not be much in your way. There may not be much of a block there, and it might be something that you could enjoy. So have a think about that. Have a think about how you can better push your boundaries just a little to do something that perhaps you're not as comfortable with, or that you might feel a little fearful about. So the next thing is doing some exercise. That can be anything from a walk, short, medium, long. You know, set yourself challenges if you like. It might be doing more of exercising. It could just be doing your usual housework in your routine and working a bit faster. You might want to set your timer on your phone or on your cooker and decide, right, I got half an hour. I'm doing my housework in half an hour. And I'm going to get as much done as possible in that time so that I can get over and done with and move more and, you know, burn more calories and feel better. And we know when we start moving more and we're doing more exercise, we know that starts to release happy hormones, happy chemicals in the brain, and it makes us feel good. So that's absolutely something that will help us. The next thing is to use our sense of humour to cope better. So generally speaking, if we see the funny side in something, even the funny side of a phobia or a fear, like make it funny. So if you've got a phobia of, say, flying, then you could make the aeroplane look really silly in your mind, like it's just ridiculous. You can dress it up, you could maybe like throw it around, you could be in control, you could do what you like with it, make it really, really silly. It might make funny noises. So that's just an example of using humour to get over something that might be, say, upsetting, unpleasant, a phobia, a fear, etc. But just generally in life, cracking a joke, having fun and laughing, that really, really helps us. So definitely something to bring more into our lives. Planning time for ourselves as well as others helps us. So we need to think about our self-care. We need to think about, you might be really, really busy. You could have loads of responsibilities in your mind, lots of people that depend on you. But remember always to think about yourself, because self-care is so important, because you can only look after other people if you're looking after yourself. And so make sure that you are building in these helpful habits and that you are having time to relax and time to recharge, as well as putting everybody else first. You know who you are if you do that. More self-care, please. Okay, so the next thing is to regularly take the medication that your doctor's prescribing you. This is so important. Take it as prescribed, as the chemist has put the label on the bottle, or the tablets, capsules, whatever it is that you're taking. You must take it consistently and properly. So that means that you're getting the benefits from the medication. It's been prescribed to you for a reason. And if you stop taking your medication without talking to your doctor or having a conversation first, you can disrupt the treatment, and you will not see the benefit that the medication has been prescribed to you for. So absolutely set reminders, make sure you're really, really clear on how and when to take your medication. If you're not sure, then go in and talk to the chemist, phone the doctor. Definitely, if you've got questions, ask them to get the answers so that you know exactly how you are to take your medication. Okay, so next thing is, are you relaxing? You might relax in different ways. Some people like relaxing, they might take a bath. Somebody else might put a face mask on. Somebody else might go for a walk, play with the dog, watch something really interesting on TV, listen to an audiobook, read a book. There's loads of things you can incorporate what you enjoy doing here as well. So definitely taking that time to relax every day. And this is really important because rest is essential when you're dealing particularly with maybe a tough situation. Rest is needed, and this will ensure as well that you're not feeling as stressed during the day, and that you're able to also wind down at the end of the day and to have your sleep, which I think was point 1 on our checklist. Okay, so everything works together in this checklist. You will see, it's great. The next thing is to, if you need it, ask for help from people around you. It's really tempting to say, yeah, I'll do that. Yeah, I'll do that. Yeah, I'll do that. Sometimes we agree to things without even thinking about it. And we just have, as a automatic thought, automatic response, say, yeah, I'll do that. That's fine. Or volunteering. But sometimes we can't manage it and we get overwhelmed. So think about the times that you're volunteering to do too much, and also start to notice times when actually you could do with asking for some help, because sometimes we don't ask and we feel like we can't ask, but actually help can really, when you ask somebody for help, often they're flattered. I know lots of people that like to know that people want their help and are asking for their help. That makes somebody feel good. It makes somebody feel wanted. So it's a win-win situation. You're getting the help that you need, and a person's feeling valued because you're asking for their help, because they are useful and they can do something kind for you. So definitely acknowledge and think about when you need that help from someone else, and do not be afraid to ask them. Okay, so the last thing on the list, the last thing you can do to help yourself is to make sure that you have your bills taken care of, and even better, you have a budget, i.e., money coming in is this amount, money coming out is this amount, therefore this is what I've got. If you have any amount of disposable income, this is what I've got. You might have outgoings, so you got your bills, your utility bills, you might have maybe some debt. Make sure that these are being taken care of. And if you're ever unsure as to what your obligations are, there are loads of services that can offer advice on debt and finances and budgeting, so that you can take control of your situation. But in any case, regardless of whether you have debt or not, it's really important that your bills are covered. And if they're not, that you understand what your options are or how you can get help in order to make sure that you are better able to cope with that. And of course, everybody's situation is difficult. These tips, these helpful things, you know, they're quite general at times, so you will understand what this means to you. And yeah, there are definitely local services such as Citizens Advice Bureau and other services such as in Castle Vale there is Spitfire Services that can give you advice on budgeting, because sometimes, particularly if we're not numbers people, it can feel a bit overwhelming to start looking and understanding it, you know, money coming in, money coming out, especially if it's irregular and the amounts change. Yeah, so that's the last thing on the list. Well, last but one, because the last thing is anything else that you are already doing or that you can think of that hasn't been mentioned that's helping you. And there's going to be loads of things that you are doing. So when you're watching this video, feel free to add in the comments what you're doing in order to help yourself and help your mental and physical well-being, because it'll be really helpful for everybody else to see and learn from that and share ideas and support our community. So yeah, so that is the end of our checklist today. So as always, we are going to set a challenge. So the challenge for this week is I am going to add the checklists to the Facebook page. You will see them attached. You can put them on, save them onto your phone as photos. And then the challenge is to go through and tick the ones that you're doing and then choose at least one. So make it manageable, choose at least one in order to start doing proactively, and build a plan as to how you can put that into your life. And talk to people about this checklist, share it with people that will find it helpful. Of course, always share our videos, ask people to like our page, because if they're going to benefit from the videos, even better. We are going to carry on with our training in 2 weeks' time. We're going to be moving on to our next topic, which is how we can manage angry feelings within us in a manner that's safe and more comfortable for us. So definitely check that out in 2 weeks' time. Let us know how you're getting on with the challenge as well. Always feel free to contact us on the Facebook Messenger app with any questions that you may have, or if you would like to use the services at Compass Support. Thank you so much for taking the time to listen to the video today. It's been great. If you've enjoyed it, please give us a thumbs up and share the video with everybody that you feel would benefit. Have a great day and talk to you soon. Bye.